two statements that live with most people for pretty much their entire life. It's a redundant, reoccurring statement that they find themselves pondering over and over and over. I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when I have enough money. So in 2018, I was 21 years old and decided to move across the country with my buddy. I had about $2,000 in my bank account, and I don't really have a job, to be honest. I just saved up money, and I kind of had a job. Not really. I was doing YouTube. It was very inconsistent. So we moved from Chicago all the way to Utah, which is 2,000 miles, I believe, 1,500 to 2,000 miles. A place I've never been to. I don't even know a single soul in Utah. Now, I was pretty apprehensive in the beginning. I was like, man, I don't really have enough money to be doing this. I don't know anyone there. I don't really have consistent income. I was pretty much second guessing it. But I wanted to leave so bad, that hometown I grew up in. I was like, fuck it, bro. Let's rip it. What's the worst that can happen? Okay? So we get to Utah, and I was like probably a month away from going broke because I had to pay rent, and my income was very stagnated when I first got there. But at some point, I don't remember how it really happened, to be honest. All I remember is momentum started building, and I started making more and more and more money each and every single month. And by the time I left Utah, I had more money than I had ever had in my life. And I made a lot of money, more money than I even thought possible, doing this crazy move. And when I did move, in the beginning of this entire journey, I had no money, and I didn't even know how I was going to make money. That to say, saying I'm going to wait till the time is right, saying I'm going to wait till I have enough money, is probably the most detrimental thing you'll ever do to your growth. You'll never, ever be ready. You'll never have enough money. You'll always second guess that leap of faith or whatever it is that you're trying to do that you think you need more time or more money for. The time is never right. The money is never right. Now, what happens when you go before you're ready is you start thinking in a lot of different ways. Your brain is forced to come up with these different ideas to make whatever it is work because you are on ground zero, so to speak. Your back's against the wall. You have to make it work. So in doing that, you come up with all these different tactics to make it work. And by the time you're done with this journey or whatever it is that you're doing, you find yourself way smarter, way wiser, and you're making a lot more money. Or doing whatever it is way better because you are forced to think in a certain way that you're not going to think if you try to be comfortable all the time. The way we grow is through stress. And not the way you think, more so the way it forces you to grow. I'm not saying go get stressed out for no reason, but if you put yourself in a circumstance where you are stressed out and you don't know how you're quite going to make it work, and you go before you're ready, and you go with your back against the wall, and you go with no means or low means, the brain is the most resourceful tool on this planet, and the way it works, unfortunately, is when it has to work. Meaning, when it's detrimental to your fucking survival. That is when your brain kicks into full gear and you find yourself thinking and doing things you never thought you would think or previously do. So, the moral of the story here is very, very simple. When you go before you're ready, when you go before you have the amount of money, you start operating on a higher level and you eventually achieve what it is that you want to achieve times 10, times 5. Obviously, there's room for failure, but even then, it's like you still learn a lot. You're still put in that circumstance where you have to make it work, or else you fail. So if you do fail, you still do a lot because you don't want to fail, versus waiting for that ultimate comfort and having everything perfect before you start. And then what happens when you do actually wait is you keep making it a habit and you wait longer and longer, and the time never becomes right. There's very few people that I've known in my lifetime that have made that excuse and then later executed when they were in the right position. That excuse often is their identity. They never outgrow that excuse. If a person's always saying, I'll do it when I'm ready, chances are they're still waiting till they're ready. You don't want to become that person. You don't want to become the person that waits their entire life to execute on whatever it is they want to execute on because they don't think they're ready or have the money or have the time or the circumstances isn't correct or in the wrong city, the wrong state, the wrong country. So, moral of the story, go before you are ready. And your brain will kick into high gear and you'll find yourself operating like a fucking demon.